All right, so yeah, let's talk about NEL Isagi again, and not only him, but also the tough situation with Kaiser. I know. I've already made a bunch of videos about him, but yesterday we had an update where his only move that kept him in world-class rarity got nerfed. If there's anyone in this game who deserves constant discussion, it's Isagi and Kaiser. And honestly, after everything that's happened in the last few updates, I feel like it's time to have a serious talk about where they're at right now. Because let's be real. Let's start with it's kind of insane how far NEL Isagi has fallen. This is the guy who's supposed to represent Blue Lock's entire concept. The genius of vision, strategy, and flow. But somehow in Blue Lock Rivals, he's ended up being one of the most disappointing world-class styles we've ever had. But before we go further, just a quick reminder. If you like my content, please don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel since it's giving me a lot of motivation to keep making daily videos just for you guys. Alright, let's get back to the main topic. And hey, I'm not saying that just for shock value. It's genuinely sad to see. He's literally the face of the series, and yet he feels like one of the weakest playable styles right now. You look at his moveset, and sure, on paper it sounds solid. Blind spot, metavision, all that. But when you actually play him, he doesn't feel like a world-class style anymore. And after this latest update where they completely removed the stun from his dash, it's like the final nail in the coffin. That stun was basically the only thing that made him competitive against other high-tier styles. And yay, skill-wise it was good that the devs deleted it, but still. It was his get-in move. The one way he could somehow compete with other styles like Sei with arm swipe and Kunigami with body lock. Without it, you're left with a moveset that's honestly kind of hollow. It's simple, it's clean, but it's not special anymore. It doesn't have that energy that a world-class Isagi should have. And that's the weird part, because lore-wise, Isagi should never feel basic. He's supposed to be the guy who sees through everything, who uses logic and positioning to destroy his opponents. But that's also what makes him so hard to design properly. Because how do you take a character whose entire strength is his mind and turn that into a fun, balanced, and engaging playstyle? It's not easy, and I get that. The devs are clearly struggling with that balance. They've tried giving him dashes, vision-based buffs, even short cooldown skills, but none of it really captures what makes Isagi special. He's not supposed to be flashy or powerful like Kaiser. He's supposed to be intelligent, calculated, but intelligence is hard to translate into mechanics that feel fun to play. Still though, I think it's possible. There's a way to make NEL Isagi both lore accurate and fun to use. And if you want proof, you don't have to look far. Just look at the competition. Let's take Azure Latch Isagi as an example. If you've seen that version in other projects, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That style is everything a NEL Isagi should have been. Elegant, smart, fast, and filled with animations that genuinely capture his character. The cutscenes look incredible, the flow of his moves feels satisfying, and the transitions between dribbling, passing, and shooting all connect perfectly. You can literally feel the vision in his gameplay. That's what we're missing right now. NEL Isagi doesn't feel like the mind of Blue Lock. He feels like a downgraded striker with generic movement. And I know the devs tried their best. They replaced his old metavision system with Omnivision, they changed his VFX, they improved his cutscenes, but gameplay-wise, it's still basically the same as before. It's just not enough. Honestly, I think the biggest issue is that his rework didn't actually rework anything. It was more of a visual overhaul than a mechanical one. Sure, it looks better. I won't deny that. The blue effects, the camera zoom, the awakenings, they all look nice. But when you strip that away, you're left with the same exact playstyle that he's had since the original release. And that's why players got bored of him so quickly. And what makes this worse is that he's not the only one in this situation. Because if you've been paying attention, Kaiser is starting to fall into the same exact trap. Kaiser used to be terrifying. When he first dropped, he instantly became one of the most popular styles in the entire game. Everyone feared that Emperor's dribble into Kaiser impact combo. It was smooth, it was fast, and most importantly, it felt powerful. But ever since the devs started tweaking him, it's been going downhill. And to be fair, I understand why they nerfed him. He was kind of insane. As I said, his dribble had a stun effect, his impact shot covered ridiculous distance, and he could outspeed almost anyone in the game. So yeah, the nerfs were deserved, but the problem is that after those nerfs, nothing replaced what was lost. He didn't evolve. He just got weaker. Right now, Kaiser's pick rate has dropped drastically. He's barely seen in matches anymore. And even before those nerfs, he wasn't that popular compared to other top styles. Players preferred Sei, Nel Rio, Don Lorenzo, even NEL Isagi before his downfall. So when Kaiser finally got hit with those heavy nerfs, his already small fan base basically disappeared. And that's really unfortunate, because Kaiser should be one of the coolest and most stylish characters in the entire game. He's literally the emperor, you know. But in the current meta, he's just okay. Not bad, not great, just okay. And that's the worst place to be. Honestly, this is exactly why I think both Kaiser and NEL Isagi need reworks. Not minor touch-ups, not balance tweaks. Full-on reworks that completely redefine how they play. Because these two aren't just random characters, they're rivals. They're supposed to represent the pinnacle of Blue Lock. And yet, right now, both of them feel underwhelming. For Isagi, the solution seems obvious. Give him a proper vision-based mechanic again. Bring back something that feels like actual metavision. Not just a passive stat boost, but a real ability that rewards reading the opponent. For example, a system where timing your movements correctly lets you auto-dodge or predict an incoming tackle. Something that makes players feel like they're thinking ahead, not just reacting. For Kaiser, it's about bringing back that sense of dominance. He doesn't need to be broken again, but he should at least feel like an emperor. His shots should have impact, literally. Maybe give him a new variant of Kaiser impact that scales with precision or combo chaining. Or a mechanic that lets him power up his shot the more successful dribbles he lands. You could even tie it into lore, call it Emperor Burst or something, that references his obsession with perfection. And you know what's crazy? Both of these characters could easily be reworked in ways that mirror each other. Kaiser, the emotional genius driven by ego, and Isagi, the logical visionary driven by strategy. Their kits should reflect that contrast. Right now, they don't. They just feel like two similar striker archetypes with slightly different animations. If they can find a way to make Isagi's thought process feel visible, like through visual indicators, slow motion effects, or dynamic prediction moments, that would make him stand out more than any damage buff ever could. So yeah, I'll say it straight. NEL Isagi and Kaiser both deserve reworks, not because they're weak, but because they've lost their identity. They used to feel like rivals, now they feel like shadows of what they were supposed to be. Anyway, that's all for today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree that NEL Isagi should get another rework? And what would you change about Kaiser to make him feel powerful again? Because honestly, if the devs really want to bring back excitement into the world-class tier, reworking these two would be the perfect way to do it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, drop a like, and as always, subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting close to the next milestone, and trust me, the next update talk is going to be even crazier. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.